Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you this evening. This is Gottlieb's Big Shot pinball machine that we are working on for a client, a customer. And so far, it's been awesome. Boy, it's a pretty cool machine. Now, on the last video, we had it kind of up and limping along. But we had a problem where the feet weren't quite right. So we've adjusted that. We got it lower on the front and higher on the back, so it's got a little bit of a tilt to it. We didn't go cray-cray with it, but it's at least tilted a little bit where it will play now. And we were just about to work through the next part of the game. Now, we haven't done anything in the back box yet. We worked on the mechanism board underneath. We worked underneath the Playfield, and now we're up to, we need to work in the back box. The gentleman doesn't want us doing, I don't believe, a bunch of cosmetic stuff. We'll call and check with him on that, but he basically just wants us to get it working reliably. And it is working, but it's not quite where it ought to be yet, right? So this particular machine has had an LED kit in it. The Playfield's a little dirty, but we're basically going to go through it and just, you know, kind of do like a punch list where we check everything, make sure everything's working properly. So I'm going to get a pad of paper, and we will start writing down what the thing does as it goes along. Just test it out, test the scoring, things like that. And we still need to clean like the score reels and the relays in the back box. So that's what we're going to do on this video. So here is our back box. We've got 5 relays, or 4 and some kind of match thing. We've got the credit unit or coin unit. I don't know what Gottlieb called them. We've got this big player unit here, and we've got 8 score reels. So really not a ton of stuff on there. Let's see what's going on with the Jones plugs. As I suspected. So they're a little grimy. So I think I'll clean those first, get those nice and shiny, and plug them back in. Look at this. You can clean these with like a bore brush. It's for a bore. In a, I can't say it, I'll get blocked on YouTube, and a, they have a little tube in the end of them. It has a hook. I'm trying to do charades now. It's a magic dog. It barks over here and bites over there, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right? So you can buy a bore brush that'll go down in like the little slot and clean that up, right? And then these you can clean up with sandpaper or whatever your favorite thing is. I use my Japanese knife cleaning sponges, of course, that someone sent me. We still haven't used them up yet, so we're still hitting it with that. Okay, so I'm just going to clean these and put them back. Now, why do we need to do that? The thing's up and running. You saw it, right? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I mean, it is running, but is it running right? We don't know that. What if every time you try to score 100 points it doesn't work because this thing isn't making good contact with that, and so the 100 points never works? So you might screw around messing with the reel and the switch and all that when all the while it's the connection. That's what I'm saying, folks. Check out your connections first. Okay, so I'm going to clean those up and we'll pop them in there, and that'll be one less thing. Okay, so I've cleaned up all the Jones plugs and I pulled this out. This is the F unit. Okay, and if you look at the schematics, it is used for the match, so it lights up the lights for the match circuit. So one of these little wipers on the side, that's what it does. Lights up a light. And then whenever it spins, it also spins this little thing on the other side. So what that does is, it does the actual math, I call it. It checks on the score units and gives you a replay if it lines up. So if one's on, 3 and any of the, so let's say 3's lit up. Boop, boop, green, right? If at the same time the tens unit is on 3, it will connect as the motor spins around, power through that. This is down on 3. It will connect power to the replay unit and give you a free game. Very cool. So the only way that works is if you get this nice and clean. So we got to clean all of that so it's nice and shiny. All right, and then when it steps, it pulls in, and then there's a little gear in there, and that thing pushes it back. But these get gummed up pretty bad. So you often have to, the problem is usually grime and dirt here. You got to get it where that's moving much more smoothly. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. You can actually take this off, you know, so where you can get to that. But once you do, it'll start, I don't think there's anything to hold it in place while you mess with it. The screws are actually holding it in place. So your main thing is you just, whenever you put it back together, you got to get it lined up so that the blade lands right in the middle of the little contacts, right? So you're not connecting two things at once. And then also there is a switch in there. So see how it's connected right now. If you move to the next stop, it's not. And then on the next stop, it is. So I wonder what that's all about. Why does it need that? Where is our F switch? So there is that switch. Each time this little F thing turns around, that switch closes, and then the next time it's open, and the next time it's closed, and the next time it's open. So why is it doing that? It turns on the A relay. Now the A relay is the alternating relay, right? So the alternating relay, depending on if it's on or off, it moves power back and forth from like the right side rollover light and the left target light, and then it goes the other way, and now the right target light and the left side rollover light, and it kind of wig-wags the stuff on the playfield. So the ball's coming down, and these lights are lit, and then if this pulls in, now it changes it, so now these lights are lit, and the lights are for scoring features. You know, if this is lit, it's 100. If it's not lit, it's 10, etc., etc. So what pulls in the F relay? What makes it alternate? The N relay, which is the 10-point relay, and the B relay, which is the pop bumper relay. So if you hit a pop bumper, this advances. If you score 10 points, this advances. Now, why do they do that? It's so you can't try to time it. Like if you know at the end of the last game the match was 8, if they only did it on like the 10-point relay, it would probably stay in sync, actually. You know, if somebody matched and they had an 8, it may move backwards or something, but if somebody matched with 8, and then all that moved this was the 10-point relay, if you played a one-player game and you moved it 3 spots, now you would have 1, and this would be on 1, and you keep winning free games. They may have it set up, though, where it goes backwards. That's how I'd do it if I was an engineer. I'd make the score reel move forward and this move backwards, and then they'd always be off, right? But one of the ways they did it was they made it where the pop bumper relay moves that as well. So every time you hit the pop bumper, the lights will jump back and forth. So if they're over here, they'll jump it over here. And every time you score 10 points, the same thing. So that is a neat little way that they used an existing match unit to add a alternating effect to the a way to control the alternating relay. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to clean that up and make sure that she moves good. Okay, so here's how it looks with the little retainer off of it. You can see it has some little posts that kind of hold it in place. It looks like it's hard to get the alignment off because of that. That it will pretty much realign itself whenever you get it back together. So, I've cleaned it up and you can see, put synthetic grease on it. This stuff's great. Get you some of this. A little bit lasts a long time. Look, it's dielectric. That's what you want. Means it's good for electric stuff. All right. You can get this on our website. Go to lionsarcade.com. We have a parts page. All of our stuff that we use in our videos is on our parts page. You can get your very own. And if you go, all of those are like links to Amazon. If you go to Amazon through one of our links, anything else you buy on there doesn't even have to be anything we link to. Like let's say you go buy you a flashlight. It gives us a tip for sending you there. So we appreciate everybody that's been doing that. The number of things people have been buying has been going up, up, up. It's a cool way to support our channel. You don't have to send us any money or anything like that. But if you're going to buy something anyway on Amazon, if you use our link, we get a little piece of it. So thank you to everybody that's been doing that. Okay, so I cleaned that up. I need to clean the Jones plugs like I was talking about, just like the other ones. And we'll put it all back together and put it back in here. But here's a sneak peek. All right. So let me finish this, and then we'll make sure that it snaps. Moves like it should. Okay, so let me show you something interesting. So if I take this, so this coil, whenever it comes on, it pulls this plate down. So if I do this by hand, see, click, and then let go of it, it does not move forward. But that's not how the machine does it, right? So whenever you test these, you gotta think like a machine. It doesn't hold it in. It's like does it violently. It's like more of a flick, right? And it works fine if you do it the way the machine does it. Okay. So that's what you're looking at. All right. Jones plugs, and then we'll throw it back in. All right, folks, we're going to work on the score reels next. So I got the little match unit back in, and I cleaned those 4 relays the same way. You just clean the switches, make sure they're closing and opening. Up to this sucker. This is Gottlieb's famous Decagon unit. One of the best ones that anybody ever made. Not to be confused with the Rat Trap unit. So it looks like it's actually working pretty good. So I'm going to take it apart. Usually this little spring steel part in there is bent, and then the back of this board will be all dirty. So I'm going to take it apart, and we'll clean that up. So you have to take this little C-clip off of here, and the little spring washer, and these 2 screws, and you can crack it open. So just like before, there's just crap all over this. So I'm going to clean it with my little knife cleaner here. Much better. Put a little dielectric grease on it. Can you see it? You can see it. It's on there. It's clear. That's why you can't see it that good. And then this has a little retaining washer on it. Basically like a little thing that holds it down. And then you have this little blade here. I usually just clean these with a paper towel or my hand or something. You just want those contacts to be shiny, but you don't want to wear them away, right? So you just want to get the dirt off of them a little bit. Easy peasy. Now if you look at the top, there is a little, see the little indentation right here in the inside? That keys it, so it can only go one way. So have no fear if you take it off. Actually, you take the wheel off, and this little, well, let's call this a sprog. This little thing here. Basically, a lot of times somebody will oil it. It's all sticky inside, so I'm going to clean that up. The spring is usually fine. Sometimes this shaft will be all oily, too, will be all sticky too, which makes it where the plastic won't spin around on it. And then you have this. See how this is bent? It's not supposed to be bent. It's supposed to be straight. So you kind of got to bend that back. The purpose of that, it should be something like that. It should be straight, and then there should be a little bend there. That's factory. That's not. The purpose of that is it rides here on this track, and it keeps it from spinning backwards. So if it goes from 6 to 7, the next time it pulls in, if that is not there, it'll just spin it back to 6 and then 7 again. It'll just get stuck like that. So that's what keeps it from doing it. It gets all bent up over time. Those are always bent. Clean, clean, clean. Get it as clean as you can. You might want to put a little bit of grease right here where this metal runs through that metal, and that metal, the same thing's going on right there. Okay, but you don't really need anything else. So just get it nice and clean, get the shaft clean, get this clean, and you can put it all back, and usually it will work just fine. Okay, folks, so I got all those done. This is the player unit. I've removed the screw that holds it in place here so you can get to the back of it. So there is a disc that spins around, and then look at this thing. A bunch of switches on the back. I believe some of these had even more. I think they had more cams, but this particular one has, well, I guess it has 6 cams if you count that one. Or maybe 5 cams and a gear. But as it goes around, it connects all these switches up and down all over the freaking place. So these Gottliebs kind of had a score motor and a, well, this is kind of a lot like another score motor. But it doesn't turn all the way around. It just turns one position, keeps going and keeps going, depending on what ball you're on and what player you're on. So cleaning is the same way. Just going to clean all the switches, and then you kind of have to test it by working it through its motions until the cam gets where it gets, to make sure that it's opening the switches that it should and closing the switches that it should. But you know, you can kind of tell just by looking at them. If they're closed, they should open whenever they ride up on the cam, and vice versa. So I'm going to clean those, and then if I run into anything weird, I will show it to you. Okay, so same story. Sometimes on these you don't even have to take the plate off if you can get to all the rivets easy. And, you know, it was already moving anyway. I didn't see anything horribly gunked up, so I was able to clean the rivets, put some of the magic juice on it. And it looks to me like that's how it's supposed to be. So folks, that's everything in the back box. So let's lay the Playfield down, and we'll see if all of the score reels reset. Okay, so I've purposefully left them all on a number other than 0. Those 2 that are on 0 are fake. They're like little signs in there to make your score look bigger. Can you believe they would do that? The score was fake all those years, people. Okay, so we're going to turn it on, and then we'll try to reset it. Usually 1 or 2 of them will hang. We'll see which ones want to act up. All right, so it turned on good. Let's see what happens. Well, hell, that ain't right. It kicked the ball out. You know what? I think it'll do that if the player unit is in the wrong spot. Let me look at something on the schematics. So the way it resets the scores, so either add the first tens unit, add the second player 10 unit, add the first hundreds unit, add the second player's hundreds unit. Those are turned on. The way they get points is through the point relays, but they can also be reset up until they get to their 0 position, and this switch opens up. They're reset by switches on P3, which was that player unit. P3 does all of the 1-player ones, and P4 does all of the 2-player ones. I've seen before where if you've been in there screwing around with stuff like I have been, and the player unit is in a strange spot because I was just messing with it, sometimes whenever you hit start, it doesn't reset them all. If you were to turn it off, or if you were to play a game or something, the next time it would get it. So I think the player unit's just in the wrong spot, but not mounted wrong. I never took it apart. It's just I've got it. Basically, it resets all of these, and then it resets the player unit. But if the player unit's already reset, it doesn't go all the way through all of these in the proper order. So let's try it again. So I turned it back on. Let's see if we get anything. That's a little better. Okay. See if everything looks good. Yes. Okay, so she's beginning to work. They did all reset once I got them. I just had to start 2 games to get them all reset. We'll play a 2-player game and make sure that they all reset. Maybe that'll be a good thing to do now. Okay, so we're going to play it a little bit. Let me set up the tripod, and then we'll write down everything that's not working right, and then we'll go through piece by piece and fix all of it. Wow, the tilt is vicious. I tilted it, ended the game. It says a tilt does not disqualify a player. Well, this one did. Maybe a slam switch does. Let's try it. We got to reset it again. Okay, so let me get a pad of paper. We'll write down all of the stuff that we find out doesn't seem to be right. Well, there's a pad of paper. I've already been writing stuff down. Just not on this one. We've got other stuff we're working on, people. There's always something in the shop. Quite a few things in the shop. Okay, so what's the first thing I'm going to write down? The coin door is humming. I might be able to do something about that. Coin door humming. He has replaced that coil. It's got a new one, and it's humming really loud, which means it's probably very important to the guy, or at least important enough that he replaced it. So maybe we can do something about it. If you saw the previous video, we figured out that there was a few coils that had been replaced on some relays, and there was a little washer in there that didn't need to be in there. It was causing some problems. So that washer is probably on that one too, and it's probably making the noise. Okay, so we'll play it a little bit. Left flipper. That thing's like a ramp. Boy, it seems like it's really tilted to the left. The alternating circuit is working. See it? So the right light is lit up in the middle there. Now the left. And every time you get 10 points, that's working. There's something wrong there. That's not right. There ain't no way that was made like that. Look, if you make a direct shot to the middle, it pops up over the... Oh, I tilted it. Bonus, I don't think's right either. Left flipper, center, 8-ball ramp, we'll call it. That ain't right. The bonus, I'll put a question mark. I don't think that seems right either. Seems like to me like it gave me the bonus twice. Oh, you know what? We're still on ball 1 too. So that ain't right. Heck, it was doing better than that earlier, wasn't it? Okay, now we're on ball 2. So this is kind of how they play when they're not quite right yet. I mean, it's playing, but it ain't playing all that great. looks like the bottom targets are a little harder to get than the upper ones. Yeah, that bonus we're really going to have to look at. Ball in play, number 3. Yes, I don't think we got any bonus that time. Bonus isn't doing anything, it's just clicking a lot. All right. It's got a lot of stuff going on, folks. It's just playing horrible. So we're gonna start working through it. I think I'll check to see if all of the drop targets are scoring, and if it's lighting up all of the lights first. Let's try that. We'll do some individual stuff. Okay, the ball is in play. Now on this particular one, it's got this switch here, which may only matter to shut this gate. Voila. Okay, so that seems to be working right. So if we come up to the top and we start hitting drop targets, that gave us 500 points. It says 500 or 1,000 points when lit. I wonder if it means all of these targets, or if it just means this one switch. It means just that one switch. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 4 bulb doesn't work. 5, 6, 7. Okay. If you're wondering why we're not doing our normal stuff, the guy didn't really want a bunch of cosmetic stuff done, so we're not going to rework the whole playfield. We're just fixing everything. And it has an LED kit in it. So we're not replacing all the light bulbs because they've already been replaced, but some of them just acting up a little bit. But all of those drop targets scored, and they all lit up their associated thing except for number 4, which is probably a loose bulb. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do I dare? Okay, so number 14 and number 4. Okay, so once it does that, now the thing behind it is revealed. gives you a whole 10 points, and you see the alternating thing is working. So this should be 500 now. And it is. And then once it alternates, it should be 1,000. And it is. And then similarly, that side should do the same exact thing. 500. That worked. That gives us 10. And that gives us 1,000. Okay. The in lane should be 500 points. That one is. And that one is. The out lane should be 1,000 points. And that one. And it is. So all of that's working. Okay, the slingshots. 10 points. Okay, that's working. Let's see if the 8, if this works. It says 500 points and opens the gate. 13,620 is where we're at now. So it should be 14,1020 and it should open our gate. 14,120. And it opened the gate, and if we fall through there, it reset the gate. Okay. So that's cool. So all of these are working. All of this is working. These are working. All of this is working. These 100 points or special when lit. So that's 100. Now the special, I wonder what it's even set on. We've got 2 replays right now. And I don't see a same player shoots again light. I don't even know if you can win an extra ball, right? So this will probably give us a replay. I heard it click. So it's probably set on a free game, but since the game's been set on free play, it can't actually give you a free game. I don't believe this has a. I don't believe you can get an extra ball, so we may be able to change the special to like it gives you a bunch of points or something like that. 1,000 points at the top, it works. 1,000 points, it works. 500 points, it works. The pop bumper pops and gives you 100. Okay, so now I'm going to check and just see if the scores roll over. That's 8, 18,000, 18,500, 19,000, 19,500, 20,000, 21, 22, 23. Everything seems to be rolling over as it should. Oh, we got these little stand-ups here. 10 points. And they're wig-wagging the alternating relay. Okay, so this is a great example of a game. Everything's working on it. Well, pretty much. The bonus maybe not. But all of the points are scoring and everything, but it's not playing all that great, right? It needs to be tuned up a little bit. Okay, so we've got actually 15 of these lit, and it says 1,000 points for each ball, for each lit ball. So I should end up with 45,000 points when this goes out. Okay, that worked, and it did go to ball 2 this time. So everything's cool. Let's just let it drain. And we'll go to, wait till this goes up. I believe this advances based on what ball you're on. It says ball 3. Got to score something, or it won't end the ball. Okay, so now we're at 2,000 points. Let's just turn a few of them on. All right, so we've got 6 of them on. I would drop one, the light doesn't work. We've got 6 of them on. Okay, so now whenever we lose the ball, we're at 48,710. I should get 12,000 points, so I should be at 60,710 points. All right, that worked. I had a problem with the score, though. The 1,000 rollover. Okay, that worked. If you notice that, what basically it's counting through, and then whenever it finds one that's lit because the drop target's down, it goes and gives you the 2,000 points. So that's working pretty good. Okay, so now we're at 3,000 points. I think I hit it too quick, so we didn't get to hear the chimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 of them down. We should get 3,000 points each. That's 18,000. It rolled, the score reel screwed up, so I should be at 90,000 whenever this is done. Yeah. So I'm at 99,000, but it's because the score reel hangs whenever it gets to the 9. Okay, so the bonus is actually working. I guess I just wasn't watching it right earlier. Or maybe it has intermittent stuff. So let's start working through some of those issues. So the first thing I'm going to check is this humming, buzzing coil here. Now, on the previous one, we figured out that the replacement coil some of them are flat, some of them have a little bump out on it. So I don't know what this one is, but I don't know if there's a... when they hum, it's because they're vibrating. They're not pulling in flat. So sometimes it's I hit the coin switch. Sometimes it's the things are fighting too hard. So you can do something like get the spring not pulling it so hard, or make sure that the blade is clean, that it's pulling against. But basically, that hum you're hearing is not the actual coil. It's this bar vibrating. You just can't see it because it's barely doing it. So it's just not laying flat against that magnet. If the magnet could pull it in, it'd be quiet. You wouldn't hear a thing. So sometimes you can just rotate something. That's a lot better. So I'll mess with it a little bit. We'll see if we can get it to where it stays like this quiet. Okay, so I removed that and I just cleaned it up a little bit, adjusted it a little bit. And it seems to be better. If I just hit it and it got louder. Let's turn it off and back on and see what it sounds like. I thought I had it. It's a work in progress, people. The whole thing is I always take these off. I don't even leave them hooked up. You don't need them. But... it ain't my game. All right, I extended the spring a little bit. You can't tell. I didn't go crazy with it. But it was pulling a little too hard, people. Makes it buzz. Okay, so the 2 light bulbs, look at that. They were just loose light bulbs. So these sockets, a lot of times they need to be played with a little bit. Whenever they're old, they need to be cleaned. But I think I got them going pretty good now, so knock those out. Okay, so one of the other little minor things is that the chimes are making like a slapping noise whenever they play. Listen how bad this sounds. Hear the tick tick tick. So the chimes actually work fine, but you've got this clack, clack, clack. So what that is there is a little plunger that jumps up in the air and hits the chime, and then it falls back. And when it falls back, it's hitting this metal and making a loud clunking sound. So there's supposed to be like a little rubber grommet in there. I don't know if I've got any of those. I'm going to go look. And then if you don't have a rubber grommet, you can put like a piece of beer seal if you've got that. beer seal is the spongy thing that goes underneath the lockdown bar. They call it that because if you drop beer on the glass, it basically soaks up in that foam so that it doesn't get down inside the game. So you just need some kind of little cushion there so that whenever it falls, it doesn't hit the metal. It hits rubber or foam or something like that. So let's see what I got. The old pieces of the foam are actually down inside of the cabinet, so the customer may have taken those loose. But we need something like that so it doesn't clack, clack. Okay, so I had some little rubber pads that go on some of the newer machines, like on the ramps and things like that. So I put those on the bottom. Okay, listen for the clack. Oh, no clack. No clack. Nothing but chimes ringing. Come on, people. You got to put something. People, if it's metal on metal. Come on, people. You can't look. If I. See, this is metal. You'll hear that. You got to have. There's got to be something in the. Like if I put a business card. You see, come on, people. You can't take the foam out. Come on now. Come on, people. Okay, so next up, the left flipper is tripping. So I took it apart. Look at this. There is grease, like oil, dripping off of the thing. Look at that crap. So that ain't good. So I'm going to clean all that up, and I think that'll stop it from sticking. So basically, every once in a while, you saw how it would kind of do the brrr thing. Anytime it does that, it's an electrical thing. There's some kind of electrical thing going on. So I looked at the flipper switch, and it was pretty dirty. So I cleaned the flipper switch, and then it didn't do that anymore. But it was sticking on, and so I took it apart, and it's sticking on because there's all kinds of oil and crap inside of it. If you turn the power to the game off, it stays stuck on. So that tells you it's not electrical because you turn the electricity off, and it still stays stuck on. So it's some kind of physical thing. I believe it's just getting stuck in that sleeve through suction because of all the oil and stuff in there. So I'm gonna clean that up, put a new plastic sleeve in the middle of the coil, get everything dry. You don't want to oil any of the plungers that go through any of the coils. Bad idea. You just want them to be clean, and they will work great if they're clean. Come on, people. Come on now. Come on now, people. Look, come on, people. Come on now. You can't do, people. You can't do this. Come on now. Okay, so we're going to play it a little bit more. I've been messing with it. Our friend Mr. Mingus brought us some more pads to write on. You need to order some stationery. Call him. Check out his website. Now, don't call him and mess with him, people. He's a good person. Anyway, he always brings us free pads to write on. All right. So he's a pinball guy too, by the way. He's just getting his feet wet, but he's a pinball guy. I don't know who got him into pinball machines. I don't know who that could have been. Okay, so here's my list that I made earlier. Let's see if we got to make more. The coin door was humming. There's nothing on earth like a coin door humming to get me running, to get me buzzing. I'll come running. And then left flipper. It said on there. I marked that out. Left flipper. It's good now. And then the center 8-ball ramp I wrote down. Okay, so basically you saw the ball would hit here and pop up over it. I can't remember if that was before we did the tilt. I guess it had to be. It was in this video, so I guess not. Basically, I tightened up these two posts. They were both loose. I tightened those up, and I've been playing it, and it hasn't done it again. So I don't know. There could have been like this little lever could have been stuck up or something. I don't know why it was doing that. I might have to go back and review the tape. Might have to do a replay on that one, instant replay. But it hasn't done it since then. But I'm keeping my eye on it, you know. And then I wrote a bonus with a question mark. Now remember, we already went through and cleaned everything. The bonus, I've been watching and watching and watching and watching. It works perfect. There's nothing wrong with the bonus. It's just a little confusing because the way that it counts it. Basically, if you've got like number 15 lit and number 2 lit, it'll go. So if you get like 2,000 points on this ball or whatever, it'll do something like ding ding click 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 ding ding click, and it just sounds weird. It's going through checking all of them. The chimes slapping. We fixed that. They're not slapping anymore. You saw that. The 4 bulb and the 14 bulb. We fixed those. They were just loose in the socket. Now, this one, it's the same. They're LEDs. You know, I'm no LED expert, so I'm not too good at fixing the LEDs, but I got it working, and then I got that one working. They're just bad connection with the sockets. So all of the LEDs are working. The 1000 rollover was sticking, so one of the score reels, when it rolled from 9 to 10, it would roll from 9 to 19 and then to 20 because the 9 got stuck. I got that fixed. And there was another one, the 10,000 one on this side was a little touchy. Got it going good too. All right, so I think we're good. Now, we called the gentleman on the phone and talked to him about cosmetics. And we said, do you want us to do any cosmetics? And he went, nah. Just like that. I'm going to replay for you exactly how he sounded. So let me rewind the tape. So, you want us to do anything cosmetic? I mean, we got it running good, but you want us to, clean up the playfield or anything? Nah. It was one of those, right? So he's going to fix it himself, he said. So, it kind of needs rubber rings, and it kind of needs cleaned up. I hate to really even play it too much with dirt on it, but he's going to play it, so might as well, right? So let's see, whenever he shows up, we might give him a list of like little minor things he can do to help it out a little bit. But it kind of just needs rubber rings and waxed. Whoa. Boys, I love these pool games. Love it. I'm a sucker for them. Look at that. You see that little assist there from the left flipper? It wouldn't work that time. That's how it's supposed to sound, people. It's just a noisy one. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Don't worry about it. That's one thing about doing that. If you're not careful, you get kind of like a dead bounce, and it'll just, instead of bouncing to the other flipper. Right down the middle. That pop bumper lamp, the way it blinks, I don't know if that's because it's the LED or if it's supposed to do that. You'd think that it would always be on, because it doesn't say anything about when lit 1,000 points or whatever. I'm wrong. The damn thing's supposed to blink all this time. All right, I'm gonna show you. Are you ready? You're watching, right? Apparently the other day on one of the videos, my brother Donnie said, let me learn you something. Watch and I'm gonna learn you something. Wow. Explain this to me. Now I want to show you something. Here's the schematics. Pop bumper light. What turns it on is a make or break switch on motor 1C. So that will also turn off the right side rollover light, the left side target light, the right target light, the left side rollover light. Now why would they put that on a switch? So when it's the other way, and that relay is in, oh, it holds on the J relay. Let's see what the J relay is. This is very confusing to me. Didn't that have something to do with counting the bonus? It's the bonus score control relay. So for whatever reason, it's set up to turn off the pop bumper light when that switch goes off. Now it's on the motor, so it's just while the motor's turning. I guess maybe because they're... I don't know why they would do the pop bumper light. I can see why they would do these, because maybe... Like, so when the light is lit on these... Oh, you know what? I'll bet that's the wrong pop bumper cap. Let me go check to see if that's the wrong pop bumper cap. That is not the wrong pop bumper cap, so I don't know. So if you can't catch what I'm saying, the pop bumper is always on. So since it's always on, they went through all the trouble to put it on a switch so that when the score motor turns around, it turns it off. But only while the score motor is moving. Why in the world would they go through all that trouble? You could have left that switch off and not have to worry about it. But there must be some reason for it that I don't know. So they also have these lights doing that. Like that's on the same thing. So the power to that light goes off while the score motor's turning. I could see that because that says 1,000 when lit, 500 when not lit. And when the score motor's turning, if it's still turning and you hit that, the score motor may be in the wrong spot where it can't make the 1,000 happen instead of the 500 happen or whatever, right? So sometimes some of the features won't work while the score motor's turning. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know why the pop bumper light would be on there. It's a big mystery to me. Someone more knowledgeable than me will have to figure that one out. So it turns off while the score motor's turning. What in the world is that about? Okay, let's play one more game. You know what? Let me put the glass in it so I can show you what it's like with the glass on, because they actually play better with the glass on. All right, I put the glass on. This thing has a hair trigger on the slam switch on the coin door. The anti-cheat switch, they call it. So when you hit the door or open the door, it will do the anti-cheat switch. See how it sounds a little better with the glass and the back door on? They sound real clunky whenever they're when they don't have the glass on. I want to get all of the drop targets down. Come on now. Now when you see them all flicker like that, that's a lead thing. You thought it was going to get stuck, didn't you? Well, you were wrong. What? What? I love these wedge heads. I mean, they're just cool games. Nice little design. I've got a few in storage. I will be bringing some in. Oh, this isn't a wedge head. I'm getting it I'm getting it confused with the baseball one we had, which was a wedge head. This is a two-player. It's not a wedge head. Although I think there are a couple two-player wedge heads. I might be wrong about that. Okay, let's play it one more time. My score was 25,690. Boy, those drops are an easy target. Look how many of them there are. If you get the ball anywhere near the top, you're going to hit a drop target. Ooh. It's kind of cool because since it counts through all 15 of them each time, it plays a little there's a little rhythm, you know, to whatever ones you knock down. Oh, come on. All right. Now my bonus is on 2,000. So now's the time to get all of them. I said I was waiting. Oh, the suspense. In through the outdoor. Out through the center drain. Nice bounce. Now they're worth 3,000, so now's really the time to get them all. Missed that. All right, they slid it right past me. Well, there you go, folks. That is Gottlieb's Big Shot Pinball Machine. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think. We will see you on the next video. We've got many more to come, people. I'm happy we were able to get this one fixed quickly and fairly inexpensively for this gentleman. And I hope he enjoys playing it for many years to come. So give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it. Make sure you check out my brother Donnie's channel. If you don't know about my brother Donnie, he's literally my brother. He has a channel here on YouTube. We're working on pinball machines, arcade games and stuff, and clocks. He's working on old buildings and old trucks, things like that. So go check it out. I'm over there with him on those videos often. So I'll see you next time. Have a good one.